Ready to get in the trust tree, Keefe?
Holy smokes. Yeah, might as well.
Trust tree. This baseball team stinks. I think we need to say that in the trust tree. I think we need to have a conversation.
Wait till the weather warms up a little bit. Once they run into some warm weather, what was that? Oh, they were in Florida.
I think it was too hot in Florida.
So they need it just right. They need to Goldilocks this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be
69 degrees.
You can't be nice. You can't be expected to ping pong from chilly and
your
cold
body
and rainy
does
and
not
wet
respond
and windy. And then you go to the humidity and the heat of Florida? Who amongst us could be expected to do that? That was a couple of days to adjust.
Now, you also need rock bottom before you can turn things around. And maybe, just maybe, the White Sox series wasn't rock bottom.
No, you thought it might be.
Felt like it could have been. Especially 11-1 on Friday to the White Sox. Yeah. Barely. If the White Sox played a full AAA schedule, I'd be fascinated to know what their record would be. But so you lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox, and you're like, okay, it's early. How do you do now? So then they play Tampa Bay, also not a great team.
No. Sox got rocked.
Blue Jays aren't a great team either, but that's, all right, that's in the past. It's not like Murderer's Row.
No.
You didn't just play the Dodgers multiple times. So this was amazing. This was everything at once. You couldn't pitch, you couldn't field, you couldn't hit. You add it all together, you lose 16-1.
How did they only get charged with 1 error last night?
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it was way worse than that.
Well, they're playing at a minor league ballpark, so it's minor league scoring. I don't know. I also forgot about that when I turned the game on. I'm like, where are they playing? Okay,
let's be honest. Improvement for the Rays.
It's better.
That's a better ballpark than
better.
the clown show Tropicana.
They should play all their games there. But you know how sometimes Nesson will play like Woo Sox games or like Portland games? It's like you turn the game on and you're like, wait a minute, what is this?
Like, hang on.
That's what I thought last night. When you see like the background, I'm like, that doesn't look like any kind of Major League Park because it wasn't.
No.
But no, the Red Sox didn't deserve to play on a Major League Park yesterday. That was awful. I don't know how you can defend it at all. I don't know where the signs of hope would be. That was gross.
Arguably the worst start in Red Sox history. The Globe said it is the worst start since 1901. Tanner Houck.
So 1901, they were bad, is what you're saying?
Well,
trash in 1901.
I just wonder if they didn't have record going.
Smokey
beyond that.
Joe Wood got off to a tough start.
11 earned in 2 1/3 last night for Tanner Houck.
11 earned.
Yeah, 12 total.
12, a dozen. Gave up a dozen runs.
11 earned.
Yeah.
Let's let him off the hook for the other one.
Sure.
I would not let Alex Cora off the hook for what was going on last night, but let's stick to Houck here for a moment. First pitch home run to Yandy Diaz.
Yeah, that sort of set the stage.
But then he sets him down 1, 2, 3. Well,
right.
2, 3, 4 rather, and you go, okay, well, they got him on that first one. Home runs not an issue for Houck last year. I think he gave up 11 all year, if I'm not mistaken. This year he's already given up 5.
Yeah, so you're still in it going into the second.
Yeah, second inning he gives up another home run.
Sure.
2-run shot on a 2-0 pitch.
All right.
He also gives up a 2-run single. So that's 5-0 after 2.
That's all right. These bats get hot. You can come right back in this one.
Christian Campbell knocks a home run. 5-1. You
Campbell.
go, okay, here's life.
Bright spot.
Christian
Campbell, bright spot. Put him to the side for a moment.
Put him to the side for a moment. It's about your only bright spot.
Although, what position was he playing? I have a problem.
Center field.
Why?
Okay, we'll get to it.
Sorry.
Third inning. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
This was honestly unbelievable.
I'm sitting down.
Single. Infield single, because they can't play defense.
No.
Fielder's choice, where they butcher a double play on a slow turn. Run scores at 6-1.
You can't assume a double play.
No. Bregman, error. Somehow the only error charge. Morel scores at 7-1. Houck, wild pitch. Mangum, single. Another run scores 8-1. Mangum steals second. Diaz, RBI single. Jansen scores as 9-1. Then you mix in a walk just for good measure. Michael Fulmer, is that who it is?
Yeah.
Michael Fulmer comes in and replaces Tanner Houck. Finally, after you have every guy reach to start the inning, just about Caminero, infield single, Aranda ground rule double, 2-run score, Morel double, another 2-run score.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's 14-1. 8 straight
14.
reached in the 9-run third inning for the Tampa Bay Rays. Houck was awful. Houck outside of 1 start, spring training, his first 2 starts, his last start was good. Another brutal outing, arguably the worst in Red Sox history. And Cora just sits there and watches.
Yeah.
And I got to wonder.
I think he's shocked.
Well,
I think he's shell-shocked.
I think he might have been sending a message.
To Houck?
To the team,
or the whole,
to
everybody?
Houck. I mean, how do you let Houck just flail? This guy was an all-star a year ago. This is a guy that, in theory, you protect.
But when your kid poops your pants, you got to change it. You got to change the pants.
I mean, at some point, you gotta throw away the pants.
You toss them away.
Like, sometimes you
can't save the pants.
go, these are not salvageable.
No, I know.
Throw them in the garbage. And that's what Cora needed to do. And Cora just watched and watched and watched and watched and watched. I think he was sending a message. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. Maybe he's sending a message to Houck. Maybe he's sending a message to the team. You do not let a starting pitcher who was an all-star a year ago, you don't let him drown like that for the world to see. You don't let him do that unless you're doing it for a reason. So that's what I wonder of what was going on. I'm sure the explanation is, well, we wanted to protect the bullpen, and we didn't want to burn through it. Well, Crochet just saved your bullpen to start before.
Oh, yeah.
He pitched into the 8th inning. Right. So you're trying to win ball games. Get the kid out of there. So I think he was sending a message. Houck was terrible. Last night was embarrassing. The season's been embarrassing. Get in the trust tree, Keefe. The team kind of stinks.
Team stinks. And the guy on the mound yesterday, I think, is one of the faces. It'd be unfair to put him as the only face. I mean, you can't be 8-10, getting blown out by the White Sox, blown out by the Rays, and blame only one guy. But let's start with Houck, because last year he was an all-star and a deserving all-star. At the break, he was a Cy Young candidate. He fell off in the second half, but he didn't implode in the second half. It wasn't like this. He sort of went from being an all-star pitcher to an average pitcher, and then the end-of-year totals looked like above average. Like, hey, that's somebody that you got going. Now, I think the Red Sox even knew, maybe not the most reliable guy. It's why they went out and got Crochet. That's why they got Walker Buehler. But he is the second starter right off the rip, right in your rotation. He's right after Crochet, so they're kind of rewarding him from last season. He was terrible in the spring. Awful in the spring, but working on stuff. Yeah. He was working on stuff for a while.
That's what I was told on the Nesson broadcast. He was working on stuff all spring while he's getting his brains beaten in his first 2 starts.
The work is not finished. No. He maybe needs to go back to spring, because we have seen him for 4 starts, and only one of them has been good. Only one of them has been good. He has already given up 5 home runs this year, right? You were talking about how he's not like a big home run allower. Yesterday was obviously atrocious, but he's got an ERA over 9 on the season. The team is 1-3 in his 4 starts. So, yeah, he's been brutal, because he's one guy, even if you didn't expect him to duplicate his all-star season, that'd be a lot better than this. You thought he'd at least be like an average major league starter, and we haven't gotten that out of him.
Tanner Houck, 11 home runs last year in 178 2/3. It's all he allowed all year.
Wow.
5 already in 18 2/3.
Not great, Bob.
I would agree with that.
Not great is one way to put it.
His strikeout to walk ratio is almost a push. It's like 11 Ks to 9 walks.
Not great.
No.
So Houck, in his first start in Texas, 5 2/3, 4 earned, couple of home runs. All right, first start of the year off spring. Maybe he's working on stuff still, whatever.
Yeah, he's working on it, tinkering.
Next one against Baltimore, 4 innings, 3 earned, gave up another home run in that one. He goes 6 2/3 against Toronto, an earned run. They lose the game, which we were lamenting at the time.
Yeah, but that was his best start by far.
Easily.
Yeah.
And he lowered his ERA to 4.41 after 3 starts. You go, maybe he's got a shot.
No.
It's over 9 now. He's 0-2 on the year. You just mentioned the strikeout to walks. The home runs are killing him and killing this team. Last night was embarrassing, Keefe.
Plus, you only have 3 starters to begin the year that you actually want in the rotation, and he's one of them, and this is what he's given you. Like Sean Newcomb and Richard Fitz and those guys can do this. They can do better than this.
Yeah, I mean,
they have done better than this.
Bayo's knocking on the door to return.
Well,
I'm not sure I feel great about
is he gonna take this guy's spot?
Fitz is on the IL. We'll see whose spot he takes. Probably not Tanner Houck's. Cora was asked about this after the game. What's wrong with the Red Sox, who have been just vastly outplayed recently?
It seems like there was a team that was prepared for the other one, and the other one wasn't prepared for them, and that goes from top all the way to the bottom, That wasn't a good night for us, and I'll take the blame, because it seemed like our team wasn't ready to go.
6 out of 8 losses. Is there any consistent problem with this streak right now?
The defense has been bad. The offense has been bad. We've been inconsistent pitching-wise. So those are the 3 pillars of baseball, and we haven't been good.
I would have to agree. Offense, defense, special teams has been a disaster.
All 3 phases.
All of it.
Yeah.
So he's going to take the blame, and that's fine. I still think Baseball Manager is at the bottom for both credit and blame, right? So, like, if they win the World Series, I would credit Garrett Crochet, I assume. I would credit Duran. I'd credit Christian Campbell way more than I would Cora, just like with the blame. Now, he deserves some of it. You are the manager. You're a highly paid manager at that. But it was like, what does it mean they weren't ready to go? How do you not be ready to go? It's game 18 of the regular season.
You're the one who's in charge of getting them ready to go. And I know he said he'd take the blame, but that's a direct reflection on the manager.
But it also goes back to him giving them the excuses and playing into the excuses of the weather. And I know that's just one thing, but you're allowing your players to be like, well, we lost because of this.
Right.
So that's already in their heads.
It was too hot.
And so what? You now lost this one because you had to travel? Or like you weren't used to that stadium.
Good one.
Like what would it be?
It's a minor league ballpark.
Minor league ballpark.
We had to travel.
Right.
We were used to the cold. We just finally got used to the cold. Now it's too hot.
Way too hot.
All those things. So
Yeah.
I think all of these are a direct reflection on the manager. Another error last night. Somehow they only got charged with one. It was Bregman. It's his fourth.
4 errors. Leads the team.
They still lead the big leagues with 20 errors. I feel like this is the Aaron Rodgers bit in Grab Bag. It's like, do the Red Sox still lead the majors in errors?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they do. They're 4 clear of the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Colorado Rockies in errors.
In your face.
14 more strikeouts last night. Nick LePan, thank you. My entire betting group thanks you for cashing in on the Shane Baz.
Oh, the Wizard of Baz?
Prop last night. That thing was stealing.
Yeah, Wizard of Baz.
Honestly criminal for the Wizard of Baz.
He was nasty. You know who's always nasty? The pitcher against the Red Sox.
I mean,
Nick's right. Just take that guy, whatever the K number is, and roll with it.
I wouldn't do it tonight, though.
We're not riding Pepio?
Dude,
I'm not riding Pepio tonight. No.
I am.
Okay. You
Pepio?
want to? Yeah, you want to
Get
go
on the Pepio
You want to go
train.
rogue and bet Pepio? I like it.
Ryan Pepio?
Yeah.
What's his nickname? What's the number, though? First, let's find the number.
I think he said
7.
yeah.
7 for plus money.
He had 8. I looked it up this morning. He had 8 against Colorado. That's another
7?
team that strikes out a lot.
7. I'll go Pepio. Why wouldn't you? This is one thing that you have to do. Yeah. Now, please bet responsibly, but I would go every single game with this.
I got to be honest.
For a month.
Wouldn't really bet responsibly with this one. I just go
aggressively.
I'd go Hogdale on this. Hog
Go
wild on
Hogdale?
this. Yeah.
Oh, we probably don't have a Hogdale call today, do we?
The Campbell home run, maybe?
Did he call that? He might quit.
Yeah,
They might kill Hogdale. Red Sox need to turn this thing around, or Hogdale is going to be done.
All right, precious Hogdale. It's not going to last much
Don't
longer.
you do this to Hogdale. Hogdale has to start doing Dodger games just so you get excited again. I don't want sad Hogdale calls of the day.
No, well,
that'd be
well,
maybe we do.
Yeah, maybe we do.
Maybe we do.
I'd like to
just
hear what it
lean
sounds
into
like.
it.
Yeah.
Now, the strikeouts, I mean,
14 more last night.
Give them credit for being consistent. This is a team that loves to swing and miss. They love to try to just hit the ball in the sky, and they can't even really do that.
So the Red Sox still lead the bigs in strikeouts. They do.
Hell yeah.
179. There is now a 10 strikeout gap between them and second place Colorado, who again, Pepio struck out the Rockies 8 times in his last start. So nice outing by the Red Sox. That was Alex Cora. Bradfo pointed out, weei.com, Odyssey app. He's going to join us on Thursday at 11:30. This is atypical for Cora to do this, period. But to do it this early in the year, he says, it's Alex Cora's job to push all the right buttons, and most of the time the senses are keen. Panic? Nope. It's a long season. Struggles, stay the course. It's just a bump in the road. He says it's why when Cora offers up such a pointed analysis, which you just heard, as he did following the loss last night, it should be noted. He points out there were other slow starts. There were 9-9 last year, where they started 7-3.
Yeah, but they were
West
also
Coast trip.
They were 9-9 last year, but they also what they finished 81-81.
Right.
So
they were
like
9-9 in 2023. They were 7-11 in 2022.
I wouldn't say last year was a slow start when you know the result, right? That it was just what they were.
That's what they were.
Right. So that's the fear here. Is it a slow start, or are they like a 500 team again?
Well, and Cora
Highlighting slow starts for also last place teams.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of those were. So Bradfo points out the last time that Cora kind of sounded this alarm this early was in 2019 after they won the World Series. I mean, that might have been the last time they had real expectations.
Yeah.
2019.
Right. And
Cora sounded the alarm early that year, and for what it's worth, the Red Sox never really dug out of it in 2019. That was an underachieving team. Remember, Cora's like, no, we're not turning the page on this thing. We're writing a whole new chapter or whatever he said. That team finished 84-78. They wildly underachieved. So Bradfo also highlights some of their issues. Their current run differential is a -15. That's the third worst in the American League. They've lost 6 of 8. Since their series sweep against St. Louis, they've managed 15 runs in an 8-game stretch. They got another one last night.
That's sort of an add-on to the Rich Keefe Stats and Info department.
It is.
So 8 games.
He's building off of that.
Yeah, I just sort of had that for 7 games.
One more on the defense. He says no MLB club has made as many errors over the time span of the 8 games as the Red Sox. They've made 12 errors in the last 8 games.
The whole thing has been a disaster.
So, I mean, do they just stink? It feels like they kind of just stink.
So, I think if you take it player by player, because it is such an individual sport, I would say Tanner Houck might just stink.
Yeah, he stinks.
Right? Like last year was sort of a career year. We've seen pitchers have really good years, and then also the next year their ERA goes up by like 2 runs. And then maybe they're somewhere in between, but maybe we always look back on 2024 as like, hey, that was a great year for you. Tristan Casas?
Woof.
Might stink?
Yeah, I mean, he's already been dropped in the order.
Dropped in the order. 0 for 3 again last night. 2 strikeouts. He's hitting $175. So those are 2 guys I might even give you. Like, maybe those guys stink. I don't think, and these are, I'm going to list a bunch of guys that are off to bad starts, which is really everybody but Campbell and Abreu. Do you think Jarren Duran stinks? I don't.
No.
Do you think Rafael Devers stinks? Okay, so we have problems with him, but I don't think he stinks.
Yeah, stinks is too strong.
Like Alex Bregman.
Doesn't stink.
See, I don't think so either. Those are your first 3 guys. Trevor Story has always been, is he going to be healthy? I think he's fine. I don't think he's as good as he was this week. He might not be as bad.
He's probably overpaid. He's never healthy, but when he's out, he doesn't stink.
And then like Crochet, Walker Buehler, some of the guys in the bullpen who actually have been pretty good. And then you have guys like Campbell and Abreu who are off to good starts. So I think there's still more good than bad. And that's the thing with every major league team. When you start the year, if you say, hey, every guy's going to have a career year, then you're going to make the playoffs. Every guy's going to have a career bad year, then you're going to miss. But what are the chances that everybody has a career bad year at the same time?
I mean,
we're in the throes of it right now.
They're trending for it right now.
I know.
What they're doing. By the way, speaking of Trevor Story, he was asked after the game about Cora's very pointed comments, panicky comments, some might say. Although I think they're needed, quite frankly. It's the only thing I liked about Cora last night. He had way too slow of a hook with Tanner Houck, maybe sending a message there on top of it. But Trevor Story disagreed with his manager that it's all on Cora.
Alex said after the game that he felt that he must not have been preparing you guys well enough tonight.
We're the ones out there playing the game. There's a certain pride, that when you wear this jersey, you gotta put it up, and we haven't been doing that. So we just, we have to look ourselves in the mirror, and we got to be honest with ourselves. But there's a lot of baseball to be played. We know the type of team that we have, and we can turn it around. I'm very confident in that.
Okay, so Cora says the team's not ready.
Yeah.
Story says there's pride. Your pride's being tested effectively.
I would say so.
And so I don't know. I like a few things that Cora did. I said I only like one thing. I like that he's dropping Casas down. Don't wait. Let's get on that one. Start shuffling your lineup.
Right.
And if you got to start calling up the reinforcements soon, we talked about this yesterday with Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer. Well, then go ahead and do it, because you don't have time to screw around, in my estimation, with where this thing has been going. So drop Casas down in the order. Wake him up. I don't know what the end game is from Cora. Leaving Houck out there for so long to let his brains get beat in, but maybe that's an exaggeration, because a lot of balls didn't leave the infield.
No, you got it. There's some smokes,
but there was more to that than just, hey, we're protecting the bullpen in the first game of the series. Something else was going on there.
Yeah, maybe, I guess, sending a message to Houck, and now we'll have to see how he responds going forward, because that was brutal. I know he was asked after the game, like, do you think you were tipping pitches? He's like, there's always an excuse, right? Yeah. Every time a starter gets shelled,
nobody's just bad. They're tipping pitches.
They're hurt or tipping pitches. It's like, or you just got shelled, or you just didn't have it tonight at all. The one thing they kind of have going for them, and I know it's crazy to check the standings early in the season, but nobody in the division is running away with it. It's not like you have a crazy good start from anybody, and you start the year just buried in a deep hole. Like, you look at the NL West. The Padres, Giants, and Dodgers are all like out to like rip roaring starts. The AL East is just kind of all treading water.
Yankees 9-7,
right?
Blue Jays 9-8, Tampa 8-8. You're 8-10. So Baltimore 6-9. You're 2 games out of first.
Right. You're playing terrible, but you're not a hot week away from just like jumping on top. Like, nobody's making you really pay for this yet.
You've also played nobody good.
No, you haven't.
Baltimore smoked you. You're 6-9. They're 6-9.
Toronto's ahead of you, but largely because they beat you.
Toronto's 9-8. Tampa's 8-8. The White Sox have 4 wins. 2 are against you. What are the Cardinals? Cardinals are 500. So the only team over 500 at this point in time they've played is Toronto. That's it.
Yeah, that's because they were 3-1 against you. So that goes a long way in making them over 500.
So it is a bad, disgustingly bad start.